All right, we are live. Yes, here we go. We are live. Hello, welcome everybody. Big thank you to everyone joining me, both my guests here today and all of you watching for my first live stream of this sort. I am, of course, Kevin Shirka, the Indiana Jones nerd, and I have a few guests here. So I'm just going to do. Oops. I'm just going to do this from my screen the way we're looking at it. So, Morgan, maybe you can tell us about, just introduce yourself, how you came to be a fan, and your favorite piece of gear, merch, or props. Thank you, Morgan. And now let's go to Nathan.
Cannot hear. I cannot hear guest. Look at your notes too.
And let's go with Michael. Thank you, guys. I have to apologize because I just found out that the audio, your guys' audio, is not being heard, which is my fault. So they're saying I should try to just pick it up off the speaker. So I'm going to try that.
Okay.
Technical difficulties are what make America the backbone of this country.
No, I can't hear anything.
You're using OBS, right? And you have to make sure the audio stream's coming through as OBS as the main source and not your microphone.
Sorry, we tested this out earlier and it seemed like everything was working. So okay. Oh yes, I know.
I heard that.
Change this.
While we're waiting on him.
Play for Indiana Jones. I see the outfits and everything. How often do you guys meet up during the year?
We've tried to be as consistent as possible. Our first meetup was in May, and then our second meetup was in June for the 40th anniversary of Raiders itself. Our last full official meetup was in October, for Halloween.
Yep. I think I saw some of the video that he shared with the channel when he showed the meetup for you guys, and it looked pretty cool. So.
Yeah, that ran in conjunction with the 40th anniversary screening of Raiders of the Lost Ark that was happening in Chino Hills. And so we kind of paired together with people who were already going out to see that movie, and we developed an even bigger event for it. And kind of some of the things that we're kind of learning as we go, you know, as Indy says, he's making it up as he goes. We're learning, about vendors. We're learning about permits. We're learning about what people are more attracted to as far as, like, you know, we have good vendors that come to these events that are like showcasing their product and everything like that, and then you have absolute strangers come up and make transactions that aren't even a part of the California Jones community. So we see the value in that, and we're wondering how we can kind of make sure that for future events we can implement that kind of appeal to people that are both very, very interested in Indiana Jones like us, versus people who have never seen Indiana Jones but still find the appeal of what we're about.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool. I mean, I've never organized an event that large or anything like that, so it's probably really
good. So, like I said, it's a learning experience, and you know, if you're interested in joining, feel free. And if anybody out there watching is interested in joining the California Jones cosplay community, we have business cards.
Nice.
And if you want to zoom in,
beautiful,
and look at our QR code, and you want to take a picture of that, you can find all of our information.
Yeah,
we have a Facebook page, we have an Instagram page, and we're currently live on Instagram right now as we speak, on the California Jones Instagram page.
Oh, sweet.
And
one
we
of
have
us
a website.
do it.
And we also have YouTube links that videos of Kevin stuff. So we're trying to build a really great community out of this. And like I said, people who are interested versus people who are not interested. We're trying to make the people who are not interested come in and be interested. So yeah.
Thank you for that for that info, Morgan. And I have to apologize because all of you guys, your intros were cut off. This is my fault. So we do have like a sort of a limit because of the Google Hangout thing. But maybe if you can just give me like a 1-minute summary of everything you said, starting with Morgan.
Okay. Hi again, Morgan Lauff, leader of the California Jones cosplay group. I've been an Indiana Jones fan since I can remember. My mom and dad's first date was to go see Indiana Jones in the Last Crusade in theaters. My favorite piece of Indy gear has to be this Herbert Johnson that rests upon my head. It's a childhood dream come true. And Michelle, if you're watching this, thank you so much for making this, for this giant 61.5 dome that rests upon my shoulders. So, yeah, thank you. Follow California Jones.
Great.
Hi, my name is Finley. I am the co-founder of the California Jones Cosplay Group. Been an Indiana Jones fan since I was a kid, though I do not remember the first time I ever watched Indiana Jones. Been cosplaying since about 2007, just before the beginning of Crystal Skull. And, that's about it. That's all I can think of right now.
Thank you.
And I'm Michael Harrison. I'm a big Indy fan, friend of the Indiana Jones nerd, and favorite Indy gear was, like I said, not truly Indy, but it was Indy inspired, and that was Pitfall to Mayan Journey for Super Nintendo. It was one of my favorite games as a kid. So, and I used to love watching Indiana Jones, like on VHS all the time.
Terrific. Thank you. And I'm Kevin Shirka. I was introduced to the films when I was a kid by my family. I think a lot of us started out that way as like a family experience. And then one day I was sick at home and rediscovered Last Crusade was playing on TV. And ever since then it snowballed, kind of similar to Morgan, who you said that you getting sick was a blessing in disguise because you were, or not getting sick, but the COVID situation last year. So me getting sick, that was a blessing in disguise as well, and started this channel last year. Oh, and I went with my Dark Horse Indiana Jones comics. Love comic books, love the Indiana Jones comics. Wish we had more. Hopefully Marvel will start making some of those very soon. So, and we did have one other person was going to be here, but apparently, unfortunately, it looks like he wasn't able to make it.
Well, real quick, on the terms of the Indiana Jones comics, there's still the old Marvel indies.
That's right.
From the 80s.
Yep. The Further Adventures. Yep. Yeah, I did a video about one of those. Yeah, definitely.
I got a whole box right behind me on the shelf.
Wonderful. I really appreciate the Dark Horse because it's more like research based, especially like Spear of Destiny. Like it's really like thought out, and they figured out a lot of different legends, how to fit them together, which I think is just great. And I also wanted to say great idol that you got there, Morgan. Absolutely love it. It's a classic.
Thank you. It is it's a dark matter props fertility idol that you can find on Etsy, and this was a very, very generous birthday gift gifted to me by Bryan Long, who is the other co-founder of California Jones. I love it very, very much. I literally had it in my cart and out of my cart, trying to justify buying it, as we all do with all of our gear, and then Bryan just outright got it for me, so I can't thank him enough. And it's one of my most, as cliche as it sounds, treasured pieces of my indie collection.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't do a lot of trouble to get that for you. Just look at all the traps you had to go through.
Yeah, exactly. That's way out of the light.
All right, well, this has been a huge year for all of us Indiana Jones fans, obviously. So I wanted to have us all share our experiences just following the Indy 5 production. When did you realize that this film was happening? How did you feel? We'll start with Morgan.
Well, I mean, we were supposed to get a film, in 2019?
That's right.
Something like that. So, back when they introduced the confirmation of Indiana Jones 5 back in like 2015, 2016, I was on board, and much to a lot of people's similar beliefs, it's just like, we want a good follow-up to Crystal Skull. I'm very optimistic. I'm very confident with the in the absence of Steven Spielberg and George Lucas, even though they were the backbone of that film, and Harrison, I would argue that James Mangold is going to bring a Raiders quality back to Indiana Jones, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be gritty. It's going to be brassy, like the London Symphony Orchestra and John Williams in the first Raiders film, and we're going to see those really, pardon my French, badass themes come back into play. So that's my take on it, at least.
Definitely. All right, Nathan.
So like most folks, I was a little apprehensive when they announced that there was a fifth Indiana Jones film, and I think it was just because I still had a little bit of my own preconceptions from Crystal Skull. I saw it in theaters the day it came out, and I remember coming out and going, "Well, that was a movie." But as I've come to get older, I do appreciate Crystal Skull. I think it is a good film. It has its moments of not so great moments, but overall, it's a fun Indiana Jones adventure, and we should really be thankful that we even got an Indy 4, because the talk from 1989 onward was, there's 3 films and that's it. Having had the privilege of working on a James Mangold film before, which was Ford v Ferrari, I can tell you right away that this is going to be probably one of the strongest Raiders films, one of the strongest Indy films. Even if the story falls a little short, you can bet your bottom dollar that the direction is going to be something worth talking about for a very long time.
Wow, I didn't know that about you. That's pretty cool, man. That must be really exciting.
I guess I'm a working actor in Hollywood.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I'm trying to get involved a little with that myself, actually.
Good.
Yeah, thank you. And now let's go to Michael.
I had a kind of similar experience with Kingdom Crystal Skull. It was kind of it left a really bad taste in my mouth originally when I saw it, but after a couple of years, I kind of warmed up to it a little bit more, and I thought, well, when I saw the trailer for Indy 5, like, well, they're going to learn from Crystal Skull, they're going to make it better, and they're going to make a much better Indy movie. So that was my kind of expectation going forward. Was they're not. Crystal Skull isn't as bad as I originally thought, but the new movie is going to be even better, and it's going to harken back to the original Indiana Jones trilogy and probably fit a lot better in 4. So that was my experience when I first saw it announced, and my first announcement I got was from your channel, Indiana Jones Nerd. So
thank you. I share a lot of your sentiments, guys. After Indy 4, I obviously, there are a lot of stuff I love about Indy 4, but it was like, all right, let's get this Indy 5 thing rolling as soon as possible, because I want to get another one. But it just took so long, and it was delay after delay, and it just felt like, man, is this ever going to actually happen? But then I think when we started seeing the casting announcements, and news started to come in this year, then I was like, okay, this is actually happening. And yeah, I've been doing this channel, so I've been very excited. And as you guys mentioned, James Mangold is a great person to be in that role, and I have a good feeling about this, definitely. Yeah. So,
and then the fact that they're recruiting on location as well, because in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, they never shot out of country. They never shot out of the United States. I mean, the most on location shot that they did was in Hawaii and I believe just outside of Nevada. The rest of it was shot on the Warner Brothers sound stages, Universal backlot. Everything like that, and you can tell. That's the thing. You can tell that it was very staged and it was very polished. And the reason why the first 3 worked so well is because they had to rely on the environment in order to propel the story. The story itself needed to be good, but it's the environment itself. It's about that adventure and that thrill of traveling around the world that really sets the tone of making a good story propel forward. And I think that's a huge key that has been brought back for the 5th film.
Beautifully said. That's right. Such a strange choice to use all that CGI in an Indiana Jones movie. What were they thinking?
It was very much a choice of George Lucas.
Yeah,
he is a
that's true.
very huge fan of green screens.
Yeah. Yeah, some of those movies, man, it's just all on green screen. But now things are looking up for Indy 5. I'm excited about that. And we can move on to our next topic here, which is what were the standout Indiana Jones news stories that came out this year. And I'm not looking for like the Indy 5 as a whole. Like, you can maybe pick, certain aspects of the production of Indy 5. So what are the ones that stood out to you, starting with Morgan?
I remember the first day that we saw Harrison Ford on set in costume. And that really kind of set the tone of what people were expecting. And from an Indy gear standpoint, that just created so much buzz. From it's just like, oh my God, who made his hat? Who made his jacket? Let's look at his shoes. Down to his coffee cup that he was walking on set with. We're trying to replicas of that coffee cup. It's just the rabbit hole that we go down sometimes is absolutely nuts, like legitimately nuts. But it's an endearing quality. But as far as like production news, I was a little bit. I wouldn't say like concerned as far as just like really wondering how they were going to go with this. Where you saw flashback sequences where there's a stuntman on the Indy bike or on the bike, and it's supposed to be Indy, but he's got Harrison Ford's mask, and it's a younger Harrison Ford. It looks like a Harrison Ford from like the '90s, like Air Force One Harrison Ford. And so that was very interesting to me. The introduction of or the reintroducing of the Nazi Party, as ironic as it sounds, is kind of a welcoming sight. And things like that, where it's just like they're kind of going back to the grassroots. But again, like I said, the locations are huge clues as to what's going on in this film. So that once we found out like where people were shooting where at what given point in time, that was a huge deal. So, but I could go on.
Yeah. All right, Nathan.
Behind the scenes stories. Well, I mean, I have to agree with Morgan seeing Harrison in the costume once again. I remember I was on a walk and then my phone just started buzzing, and it was Morgan and I's friend group, we're a bunch of Indiana Jones cosplayers, and we were just going, okay, who made the hat? Well, the hat looks familiar. The hat must be a holdover for Crystal Skull, but look at the jacket; it's clearly a Raiders copy. And I remember the main consensus is when those first behind-the-scenes photos of him with just the coffee cup. I remember our main consensus was he looks bad. This looks bad, and then one of our friends, Trent Ryan, was like, this is probably just a costume test, guys. Don't think anything of it. And then lo and behold, it was a costume test. And the costumes that he's been wearing now are much more in line with what we've been looking for. This new shirt though that he's got underneath with all the 60s shots of, it's an adventure shirt, but it has no pleats like the original adventure shirt does. So that's a little odd because you've stuck with that main costume piece for the 40 years that Indy's been around, and now all of a sudden it's like, no, we're going to switch that for an entirely new shirt. Just to me, that makes no sense. But in terms of stories, there's of course the big rumor that there's time travel involved in Indy 5, and I'm very worried about that. Only because so you can't see it too well behind me, but behind me I have some Back to the Future and Doctor Who stuff. So I'm kind of a big fan of time travel stories. And the thing is, with time travel time travel is not an easy concept to write. It's not an easy storyline to use, and especially if used improperly, it will ruin your story. So I'm just worried about the implementation of time travel in Indy 5. That's it.
Thank you. Yeah,
I'm sure Indy will find some way to make it good.
Yeah, that's a big point you bring up is the time travel thing. Sorry to cut you off, Michael, but yeah, that's something. It's kind of interesting because the idea of Indiana Jones going back to like the past and seeing like some of those cultures that he researched is pretty interesting, but it's like, well, we've only had like, this is only the 5th Indiana Jones movie. Maybe if we did like 10, then we could have more movies that experiment with stuff like that. But, it's James Mangold, like we said, so I think whatever happens, I trust him. So, sorry, Michael, now you can go ahead.
That's no worries at all, because, I'm kind of concerned that it could be a time travel involvement, especially because people are still sour on the alien aspect for the 4th movie, so having time travel involved, Indiana Jones doesn't seem like a franchise that really needs time travel to kind of carry the story, so hopefully if it's implemented, it's brief, simple, nothing major for it. That's a quick take on it, but the standout news story that I saw from Indiana Jones was when they had delay production because Harrison Ford was injured, and that was a pretty big news story. And I was like, oh, come on, like, can't have that happen. So, but they were able to get back on track, and he's better. So.
Hey, Brian!
Oh, dude, guys, I'm so sorry. There were technical difficulties. I just got it to work. My apologies.
Well, welcome. We're glad you're here.
Good to see you, bud.
Brian, why don't you introduce yourself and just let us know briefly how you came to be about an Indiana Jones fan, and also if you can show me your favorite piece of gear or merchandise.
Wow. Okay. Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
Who is Bryan Long? Bryan is a complex, yet sometimes misunderstood individual. No, really, seriously. Again, my name is Bryan Long, and I am, I would say, a pretty good Indiana Jones enthusiast. First off, being that I'm a little older and grew up when the franchise came out, I was able to see it in the theater and stuff and grow up at the Doom Raiders. It was pretty hard not to get into Indiana Jones as a whole because, like, wow, he's just an all-around. He's the guy's guy, you just kind of want to be him, So, I've been a fan for a while. As far as cosplay goes, I am a late bloomer on that one. But we're looking at maybe 10 years. Favorite piece of gear? It'd probably have to be my shoes. I love my shoes.
Shoes?
Right now. This may change, money.
That's a surprise. Nice. I love it. and you make a lot of props, don't you?
I do make some props, yes.
Yeah, I've seen some of your stuff at that California Jones meetup. Great display of stuff you had.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Complete and functional. Yep.
It's you look so proper, Morgan. I love it.
This is my mystery of the blues look.
Yeah, it's tight. I like the ship right there. That's
Thank you.
You're just missing a pipe.
Well, I mean,
He's got one.
There's probably children watching, so I don't want to advocate.
Yeah, I suppose maybe older Indy might have enjoyed a little bit of tobacco in the woods.
Well, Indy was originally supposed to be. He was written as an alcoholic in Raiders. So they Larry Kasdan and Lucas like really made him into like a Humphrey Bogart-esque kind of alcoholic, where he relied on the booze, but it was only very subtly mentioned in Raiders, and after that it kind of just tapered off into nothing. But I digress.
Nice. Well, you never know. So I apologize for the margin.
Not at all, Brian. We were just talking about what were the standout Indiana Jones 5 stories this year. Not the whole production as a whole, but just like specifics. Anything really pop out to you?
Well, I'm sure you already mentioned the pop out. You know, when they all got to meet. Yeah, when they all got to meet Harrison Ford as Indy.
We're not talking about cosplayers.
No.
Yeah, I know, but that was see. I try to stay away from that as much as possible because I like to be surprised. I don't want to know too much. Sometimes the best movies I've ever seen are movies I know nothing about. Surprisingly, all of a sudden I'm just blown away. But I have followed it and totally contradict myself there.
All right.
And basically, basically, it's hard to say. I guess seeing him for the first time as Indy again, you know, the first few photos, you know, of him on the hill, you know, the grassy hill. That was kind of an amazing moment for me because, wow, there it is again, and then a couple of the behind the scenes. Yeah, I like those.
Yeah, definitely. All those pictures for sure. I really loved, as you said, that one of Harrison Ford with all the fans. I think that was one that really touched a lot of people because it shows him, you know, he's interacting with the people who love this. It was just like such a heartwarming moment. Well, wasn't it, guys?
Yeah. I've never seen anything like that happen before. So.
Yeah.
And the smile on Harrison's face was just so wonderfully genuine. You could tell that he was just loving every second of it.
Definitely.
It definitely was, I think, a genuine moment for him as well. He definitely looked like it to me. What do you think, Michael? Probably already touched on this, but what's up?
I didn't get to meet him, so I'm extremely jealous. The only thing I ever did see from Harrison Ford are like the interviews that he's done on like for other films and things like that. And he seemed to detest his role as Han Solo, but he seems to really enjoy being Indiana Jones. So who wouldn't, man? An actor's dream to play a character like Indy. Well, he might be Han Solo too, but I mean, same.
Well, I guess. Oh, sorry. Did I cut someone off there?
No.
Well, I guess it's my turn now. So for the standout news articles, and for me, I'm going like kind of back to the beginning. Two of them really. Firstly, the news about Mads Mikkelsen being cast. And we're gonna talk about the cast here in a minute, but that was a big moment when I was like, wow, like this is big deal because Mads Mikkelsen is such a terrific actor. I love him in Casino Royale, and of course he's been in like Star Wars, Marvel. He's been in everything now. And then the other one that I wanted to mention. It's a small one. It was the very first picture from Bamborough Castle where you just see like this little stone bombed out tower being built, and like that was the first picture we had of the set, and it was just so exciting, like seeing everybody checking these out, getting all excited. I made a video about it, and it got featured on like a bunch of websites, like in the Czech Republic. It got featured on a website, and everything just kind of snowballed from there. And then after that, everybody just starts like everyone in England starts like going to the sets and all that stuff. It was just really cool. So that's kind of the ones that got me excited. And
Because it's actually happening. And it was hard that it's actually happening.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was like, man, because as I mentioned earlier, like I for a long time thought that this movie was not going to happen. Yeah.
I was always positive. I always said it's going to happen. He's not too old. He's probably going to get injured, but he always does, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. So.
Yeah, you should have put a bet on him getting injured. You would have won something. That's a safe bet.
No one would have taken that bet.
Yeah, it's true. Well, I mentioned Mads Mikkelsen. Obviously, this movie has an outstanding cast. Why don't we'll start with Morgan and go through just your thoughts on the cast here.
Well, going back to Mads Mikkelsen, I think he's just a classic archetype villain role that you kind of want to root for. If he's going to play anything like he did in Casino Royale, then I think that's going to be already a minimal foe for Indy. No questions asked. Phoebe Waller-Bridge is an interesting casting choice as well. She's more, from what I understand, she's more of a screenwriter as opposed to an actress. Even though she obviously is a good actress. I liked her character in Solo. Even though you don't see her, you do hear her. But I'm holding out hope that we see John Rhys Davies in some capacity. He appears in every odd Indiana Jones film. So the first one, the third one, the fifth one, he has to be in it. So I'm hoping we see. Not necessarily for fan service, but I think his character is very important to the relationship and the dichotomy that Indy has had developed over these years. And Antonio Banderas' character, I think he's going to be a villain.
Oh, you think Antonio Banderas is going to be a villain? Okay.
I think he's going to betray Indy.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, could be. I know he has kind of said that he's the good guy, but I mean Andrew Garfield said that he wasn't in you know what, so
exactly.
Can't trust what you hear. Yeah. There was something
exactly.
Sorry, there was.
Says.
No, go ahead.
Did that warn you not to go, not to trust anybody?
That's correct.
Too true.
All right, Nathan, if you want to give us your thoughts.
Well, I mean, the casting of Mads Mikkelsen as the villain is, in my opinion, perfect casting, especially with his work on Hannibal, which was an excellent series. You can't really get any better than him, and I hope that his character is very much like a refined and more dangerous Belloc to Indy's character in this film. Because we need another Belloc character. We've had Donovan, who he wasn't an archaeologist; he was a man seeking treasure, and so while he would do anything to get said treasure, being the Holy Grail, he didn't have the type of edge that Belloc had on Indy, nor did he have the sway of sorts, like messing with Indy's head. I still have my opinions on Phoebe Waller-Bridge, and I think I'm going to keep them to myself, other than I didn't like her work in Fleabag, so I'm just kind of worried. Who knows, maybe she'll pull out a stellar performance, but I've seen great actors give bad performances, and I've seen bad actors give good performances, so again, who knows? Antonio Banderas, I hope he's a villain. I mean, I would love for him to go gallivanting with Indy because of growing up with his Zorro films and loving them to death, but it'd be so great to see him as a villain, even though he's being a villain in the Uncharted film. It would just be great to have 2 for 2. Let's see. Let's see. Who else is in this film? That we would know of. Well, there's Toby Jones, who may or may not be Abner Ravenwood. Hope he's not. I hope he's just some random Nazi scientist. But excited for Toby Jones. And that's honestly, this is also second Morgan on John Rhys Davies. Gotta have my Sala in there.
Sala.
So yeah, yes, and Karen Allen. Gotta have Marion. Good old Marion Ravenwood.
I'm sure she'll be in it.
He's got a wedding.
Yeah.
Exactly. So he's still married to Marion. But yeah, so this cast, Mangold knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and I was trying to think about it after Morgan was talking, but now I remembered. Those legacy characters. There actually was a scene in Indiana Jones 4, like in one of the early scripts, like the wedding happened earlier in the movie, and you had Sala, you had Short Round, Marion, Willie, like all these past characters showed up, and of course Henry Sr. was there as well. I don't know that there's any, besides a wedding, that there's another excuse. Maybe there's a birthday party that he's at. I don't know, like in the start of Lord of the Rings. But I personally, I love to see any of those characters, but I know we don't want to, like, overdo it.
Wow, you guys have a lot to say.
Yeah. And, yeah, Mike.
My hope is that... I'd say my hope is for Shia LaBeouf to make at least a little appearance.
Well, one thing people were thinking is that maybe Boyd Holbrook could be Shia LaBeouf because he had like a hairdo that was kind of slicked back like that, but it didn't really seem like he was playing that character. We don't know.
I think we talked about before in the live stream. It was talking about Shia LaBeouf's character in Crystal Skull, and were they intending for him to be the successor to Indiana Jones or what? But I mean, you can't. He's there. You can't abandon him now. He's there.
I must be one of the rare people that I liked his performance. I mean, I didn't see anything wrong with it. Maybe I'm crazy, but
it was the way he was tied to. I think that was the thing.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong. I apologize for cutting off. There is absolutely nothing wrong with Mudd as a character. It's just the film that he was put in that let him down.
I liked it too.
I was saying at the beginning that Crystal Skull has really grown on me in recent years, and I do find it to be a great indie film. It's got weird moments, but it's an Indiana Jones film, so let's just be happy that it exists.
You gotta love it. Yeah, that's not a
The ending just can't get past.
The alien thing?
Aliens.
Yeah, exactly.
And the fridge too.
They're interdimensional beings, as point of fact.
And the monkeys.
No CGI monkeys in this.
Yeah, no CGI monkeys, please. Did you have any other thoughts, Michael, before we move to Brian here?
I just had to mention Shia LaBeouf, but you kind of touched on my hopes and expectations for Mads because he's a fantastic actor. And I don't really have much to say about Phoebe, but Antonio Banderas, I'm kind of geeking out a little bit because I actually really enjoy his work too. So if he's a villain, if he's a villain, he's a good guy. It doesn't really matter as long as he gets more than 2 seconds of screen time. Because I know he's kind of played himself into like the B role or the C role lately with his film, but he's still very fun to watch in movies. So I really hope he gets a bigger part than all right, Indy, welcome to my boat. Now die.
Thank you, and Brian.
Not much to say, but I will say this. I love all the actors that are being put into this last final tribute. I've liked them in a lot of their movies. I have complete faith that it can be a really, really good film. It's not going to agree with everyone. No one's going to, get past the flying monkeys or the swinging monkeys. There may be some of that in there, but that's the way life is, You can't hate it all just for one thing or two things. So I've always been supportive of the film, and I think it's going to be great, and that's it. I mean, that's about all I got to say. I mean, I try to stay out of. I want to be surprised, so I know who's in it. You can't avoid that. I've seen all the photos. Time travel, but basically everyone kind of said it all. So I'm going at it more of a heartfelt. This is our last hoorah with our man, and it's going to be glorious.
Brian.
Amen.
Yeah. Amen.
Hell yeah,
man. For a moment there, I thought you were going to squeeze in a Mystery of the Blues reference and say things can't always be the way you want it to be. But sometimes they are, yeah.
It's going to be okay, guys.
It's going to be okay.
It's
Well,
going to be okay.
Well, I am very excited about the cast. I think we have some great actors here, as we mentioned. I talked about Mads Mikkelsen already. I am really optimistic that Phoebe Waller-Bridge is going to do a great job. We'll see where that goes. Another one that we haven't seen, one of the first actors mentioned, but we haven't seen any pictures of him, Thomas Kretschmann, who traditionally plays like the role of Nazis. He was in Valkyrie, bunch of movies, right? And so I'm assuming that he's maybe playing a Nazi character, and that'll be exciting too, because he would be a great villain.
Mm-hmm. He was Finley in Downfall, correct?
He was.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. No, he's wonderful. He's a wonderful actor, and who knows? Maybe he could be a double agent.
Yeah.
You never know.
Double agent.
It's the
Yeah.
agent. Jonesy. Yeah, that did bug me. That line. Yes. Something about Jonesy just didn't stick with me. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I guess I have my moments too. There's such things. Jonesy's one of them.
Another story for another live conversation.
It's kind of like every movie, like there's a character gives a new nickname for Indiana. Like obviously everyone was calling him Indy, and then Short Round would call him Dr. Jones, and then we got Junior, and then I guess Jonesy was the one they tried there. So I don't know, maybe Phoebe Waller-Bridge will have some cute nickname for him or something. I don't know.
Well, as he gets older, he likes to call himself Henry, so I don't know if that...
That is true, he does.
That would be a good... His name is Henry. Not Dr. Jones, not Indy.
Henry.
You might have coined it.
Perfect.
Who knows? And who knows if Short Round will be in this one, too.
Yeah, I'd like to see him. He's acting again.
Make an appearance if they can. It's kind of like the letdown from The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
We never got the meeting. It's really like why. So I just hope they kind of. There's going to be a couple in there, right? There has to.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think the Google Hangout thing is gonna kick us off in a few minutes here because it's just a 1 hour limit. But I just wanted to end by all of us talking about our predictions and our hopes for the future of this franchise beyond Indy 5. So I guess we'll start with Morgan.
One big thing. We're going to get a land at Walt Disney's Animal Kingdom for Indiana Jones. That's my prediction.
That sounds good.
That's what I'm talking about.
There was a themed land for Disneyland, before they made the ride, early 90s, but that didn't happen. So maybe.
They got rid of Dino Land USA at the Animal Kingdom. They're getting rid of it completely. So, and they have the dinosaur ride, which pound for pound is exactly the same technology and the same ride vehicles as Temple of the Forbidden Eye. So, don't shoot the messenger, but all signs are pointing to that direction. So
it is possible. That's what you're saying. It is possible.
Did you guys hear about the water park in England? It's not officially Indiana Jones, but it's like a very Indiana Jones inspired water park, and it's going to be like the biggest in the world.
Guess we got to go to England.
Yeah, we'll have to go.
Indy's taking over the world.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, and Nathan?
Really, my honest hope for the series is that it will just continue to inspire people like Indiana Jones always has. You know, I hope that we get some good games, you know, like a worthy successor to Fate of Atlantis, Infernal Machine, and Emperor's Tomb. You know, I hope that there are more kids who grow up watching Indiana Jones and getting not only interested in just like cosplay and very finely made hats, but also archaeology and history and protecting it in all forms. But really, the main thing I want is for just people to have fun. Because no matter what we think about actors, no matter what we think about scripts, directors, whatever, let's just have fun at the fact that we are actually getting one last Indiana Jones film. That we are getting just man back in the hat, and whatever happens, happens, but hey, we got one more.
And we're about to get booted from this call, so let's just go to Bryan really quick. If you can hopefully squeeze... Oh, all right. So, you guys, you can stay with us here. We are going to be doing a second Google Meetup here. Whoops. With Michael, and we're going to be playing a little bit of Phantom Abyss. And maybe I'll just see if I can get these guys back in here really quick. And let's see, Morgan and Nathan. All right, and let's see. All right, and Michael should be coming in a minute here. Alright, and while we're waiting, maybe I can take a look at the chat here. And... well, my phone's updating. Oh, I can look... let me see. Ah, great. Here's Michael. What up,
Hey,
buddy?
you bringing everyone back?
Sorry?
You bringing everyone back?
I invited them. I'm not sure if they are going to come back or not.
Are you still on live stream or no?
Yeah, we're still live stream. So if you want to set up your thing, so you'll have to do. Did you put that the Steam key in OBS?
Yeah, I did.
Cool. So yeah, go ahead and take over.
All right, cool. Well, let me get that set up. I'm going to turn my camera off for a moment, and I'll push it to the live stream. So, if you're really, my prediction for Indiana Jones is that we will have a title at some point.
Wonderful.
So let me get this all set up.
I'm lost. Oh, here we go. Okay, and then. Let me see. I'm going to see if anyone has any questions. Do you think Disney will do what they did with Star Wars and decanonize the Indiana Jones EU? Oh, this is a great question. Yeah, I wish I figured this thing out better so that some of these guys could be here for some of these questions. Yeah, that's I think that there are definitely things that are going to be ignored. I think it's going to be similar to Star Wars. Like, if they want to do something that's been done in the books or comics, like the Spear of Destiny or the Atlantis, I think that will be, they will ignore that stuff. Okay, and here we have Bryan back, and hopefully, not seeing him yet. Let's see, in the meantime, let's see, what else do we have here? Yeah. Oh, okay, Bryan is back. Hi, Bryan. Thanks for coming back, sir. We cut you off. Yeah, if you want to give us your thoughts there.
I just hope they basically end the franchise, or I should say, maybe not the franchise, but perhaps the movie on a good note. I don't want him to die off. I don't want to see that. As far as the franchise goes, do I think another character can take over the role? I do. Now, you have to be open-minded about it, but I think it's possible in time. I mean, an example for me would be, what is his name, Chris Pine for Star Trek, where he did, I thought he did a great Kirk. I mean, not saying he can be Indy, but just thinking, if you find the right person, but that's just a personal opinion. Not everyone might agree with it, but I just want to see it taken care of.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really like such a shame. Like, we only got 5 movies with Harrison Ford. Like, all these years, like, we should have had something in the 90s at least. At least one.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah. And
sorry about that.
Not at all.
But I just wanted to jump on really quick just to say thank you for having me. I gotta go eat dinner really quick.
For sure.
So I apologize about that, but thank you so much for the opportunity to join this. And I'm really upset that I couldn't get it. It just wouldn't. For some reason, it wouldn't wouldn't work.
Yeah, technology. Yeah.
I was ready to grab my daughter's a can and bring it in here and hook it up to the PC and see if that would have worked, but all of a sudden it started, it downloaded and installed, so it only took a half hour or so.
Oh, well, I'm glad you got it sorted out. I appreciate you coming on. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and hopefully we'll do something like this again in the future.
Love to.
Cool.
Right.
Awesome, man. All right, you
Thank
take
you.
care. Enjoy your dinner.
You too. Thank you.
Thanks. Alrighty, and now we're just waiting for Michael. For some reason, I still can't hear his audio. Maybe I should just call him and see what's going on.
Do you want to hear my audio?
There he is. Now I hear you. I just didn't hear your audio. So, if you want to,
can you hear the in-game audio?
Well, I'm gonna have you use your OBS to take over the stream, and then we'll be able to hear my voice through the Google thing, and we'll also hear the in-game audio.
Okay. So all right. So ready to start presenting with OBS?
Yes. Go ahead.
All right. So let me just stop the presenting on this one. Now start stream. And audio. Game capture. Phantom Abyss. Okay. Alright, and you'll have to let me know if you see it, okay?
Okay. There's like a delay, so hopefully it's already started, and then in a moment it will.
Alright.
Show me. Okay, now that's telling me. We're getting close, guys, and we'll answer some of your questions here. I just want to keep an eye on this and make sure it's coming through. Still not seeing it yet.
All right, I have it on. It's streaming. So do I have to click start recording?
No, if you have it on streaming, you should be good.
Okay. It should be showing up now.
And did you use the code that I sent to you?
Yeah, I used the code. So.
Mm-hmm.
It's still not showing. It's showing on my capture on there now.
Maybe I don't want to like stop mine and end the stream.
Now let me see if I can.
There. So stop streaming, and just make sure I have the right code in because you showed me that earlier. All right. That's service YouTube, primary server, use stream key. All right, that's the one. Okay, audio, game capture, scene, properties. All right, so let's go ahead and start stream. And should
now.
All right. Not seeing it yet.
You're not even seeing like a black screen or anything like that?
No, not yet. It's possible. Okay, now resolution. It's possible that maybe my my thing is blocking it.
All right, so I got it. I have it up, so it should be capturing video now.
All right, I'm going to stop my OBS. Maybe
Okay.
that's the problem.
Okay, that's probably it. Because we have, I don't know if it's start streaming.
If not, we may just have to start it over.
All right, it should be set. So it should be streaming now.
Okay, I'm just refreshing my page to take a look at that. Okay, yes, you're right.
All right.
We're good.
We're good? All right.
Sure.
So we're going to choose which whip I need to use. And let's do the... I haven't done this whip yet. So immune to fall damage, but guardians are stronger. How's the audio on my side?
Well, it's fine for me. Hopefully everyone watching...
If there's any problems, just let us know if there's an issue with the audio.
And let me just refresh my phone here. Okay, cool. I see you. All right, so while you're playing, I'm going to go through some of the comments here. And I'm starting with some of the more recent comments since they were, hopefully the people who are still here. Yeah, I don't know enough about the Indiana Jones books, unfortunately. Oh, Michael. Okay, so, all right, so Tim was our friend Tim is watching, and he said Michael's audio is doubled, but I think that's because my microphone is on. So oh wait, no, mine has to be on. I know. Okay, so Michael's audio was doubled, so I am just going to adjust something here. And hopefully you can hear me okay, Michael?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Can you hear me okay, Michael?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Oh man, I'm trying to remember the controls for this. It's been so long since I played.
Yeah. and they added new things. Like there's one thing that it's like the room, like you go into a hallway that's like rotating. So there'll be some surprises. Oh.
Yeah.
I'm seeing like a minute
shoot.
after whatever's going on your screen.
Ah.
Oh, did you die?
Yeah. Crud.
Super Neat says Elsa Snyder is a better match than Marion. What do you think about that, Michael?
You think I'll? Oh.
I like Marion, but man, Allison Duty's pretty great.
Yeah. I can't believe I lost a whip.
Super Neat says he likes Willie. Willie is better suited. Nice. There's a good little debate here.
See,
Super Neat says, "Oh yeah, go ahead, sorry."
I was gonna say I'm gonna play with the traditional whip just till I get the controls reoriented. It's been like a year since I played this.
Last one on the left.
Yeah. We'll get through this.
Let me see. Super Neat says, "Is the nerd powerful enough to get an interview with the real Harrison yet?" Well, I wish. I don't know that I have any power at this point. But yeah, I don't think I'm that powerful. But I mean, if he like for some reason was at like a convention or something like that, that would probably be my best chance.
You'd stalk him.
Yeah, I could be like Bruno, in the Sacha Baron Cohen movie, who's just like waiting outside a store for Harrison Ford to come out. That was
Whoa! What in the world? Well, I said.
okay.
I said before. I thought you should hang out on the set and just kind of stick around, waiting for him to show up.
Yeah, I wish. Yeah, if the film was being filmed here in the U.S., I definitely would do something like that, or at least try to be an extra or something. Because there were like notices put out that they were looking for extras, but it's like I'm gonna spend like $1,000 to fly all the way to England or Italy, and just to be an extra for one day. I mean, it would have been pretty cool, but too much. Let me see. And there, let's see. Some people were asking a little bit ago, when do we think we'll get a title reveal and a teaser as well? Let's see. Some people are saying November, December 2022. Yeah, maybe. I remember when Indy 4 came out, like the trailer didn't come out until like 3 months before the movie came out or something like that, which was really strange because like with the Force Awakens, it was like a whole year before the movie came out that we got the trailer. So hopefully, yeah, maybe November, December is a good guess from Peak Fan 24 there. What do you think, Michael?
Well, I'd say it's set to release in 2023 now, isn't it? I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't do it till like 6 months before.
Yeah. So that would put it. Yeah. So that's exactly what he was saying. So it would be 20. Yeah, in like November or December of next year. Let's see. Greg says we should just stream Emperor's Tomb. So we'll definitely have to do that sometime. Have you played through that?
Emperor's Tomb? Oh, I was really excited to do Fate of Atlantis because I just got that recently.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out. We were having a technical issue with that, but we'll probably try streaming Fate of Atlantis and hopefully some of the other games in the future here.
Oh no. Eye of Agony.
Oh, is that Canyon from the Raven? I think it must be. There's someone on the chat named Lost Canyon, so that's someone I used to know back in the golden era of the Raven forum. So welcome, and if that's not who I think it is, welcome anyways. Greg says in his eyes, the old Indy bookends are still canon. So that means that Indy has a daughter and is wearing an eye patch in the early 90s. Which it could be the case. I mean, some people have said maybe Phoebe Waller-Bridge is going to turn out to be like a second child of his somehow.
Like I said, he hasn't. If they don't include Shia LaBeouf, then they're really just going to pass up one child for another.
Yeah. Yeah, they can't do it clunky like that.
Yeah. Well, they can. They're just not going to make any friends that way. But I don't think they're going to go off track with that. I mean, if anything, there'll be at least a brief nod to Mutt, but...
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, how do I open that door?
Let me see, okay, Lost Canyon is not the person I thought it was, but as I said, you were very welcome, and glad all of you guys are here for this. My first time doing, a stream that I had like other people on in that format, and it was really cool experience and really exciting to put all that together. And let's see, and Lost Canyon is asking, what are my plans for the channel after Indy 5 comes out? I definitely want to keep using this channel, and I'm gonna branch out into other things. And I've already had a few videos touching on things like James Bond and Lord of the Rings. So there's going to be hopefully more of that. But obviously I'm going to keep making videos about Indiana Jones. Whatever I can. I hope that they're going to make an animated show or something like that. I didn't get a chance to talk to the guys about it earlier. They were talking about Fate of Atlantis and Spear of Destiny, and there were some really great stories out there. You don't need to hire someone to go through that process of thinking like you have some terrific stories, and just like how DC make those animated movies, feature-length movies, which have been really good quality. You could do something like that. That would be really cool. What do you think, Michael? Do you think we're going to get a TV show or something in the future?
Well, I mean, they're probably going to do at least another comic.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be my main guess for it, at the very least, because they're going to try to capitalize a little bit on it, but I don't know if they're going to do another TV show or not. If they did, it would probably be like a Netflix adaptation or something.
Well, yeah, because you have Disney Plus, so...
Yeah.
You could have something, because they're making all kinds of Star Wars things.
Yeah, I mean...
I think they're doing something with Willow, too, I think.
If they do, have Indiana Jones' daughter in the film, and then it's going to be, maybe the adventures of, such and such Jones. Or,
yeah.
It's going to be her continuing adventures, taking over for her father.
Yeah, Pika Fan 24 actually said the exact same thing. A series about Indy's daughter would be cool.
Yeah.
Great lines to like.
Oh man. So you're a minute delayed, so you don't get to see all the stuff I'm struggling with.
I'm like more looking at the chat.
Oh yeah, you keep up with the chat, because I try to figure out how to do the. I'm trying to remember how to do the power slide and everything. You got me playing Phantom Abyss, and I haven't played in forever.
Oh yeah, I hadn't played for a long time, and then I came back and played a little bit.
All right, I figured out the power slide, so everything's good.
So, the trick I know I've mentioned this to you, Michael. The trick that I would do in Phantom Abyss, like the kind of cheap way of playing the game, I guess you could say, is I would use the whip that is no fall damage, and then you have to keep buying the blessings, and hopefully you get the perk which is to like instead of taking fall damage, sometimes you gain health instead. So by doing that, you can kind of, heal yourself fully at the end of the level. And go from there.
I had that perk. I fell on spikes.
Oh, yeah.
Get some more coins. Yeah, I mean, what I really hope to have after like this Indiana Jones movie is, I hope they don't let it like rot for 10 years or so.
Yeah.
With nothing coming out.
Yeah, it seems like they're putting all this effort to make the movie. It would make a lot of sense to keep that momentum going. At least make a show of some sort or something like that. One person, Pika Fan here, 24, says, Indy should travel to Isla Nublar. Little Jurassic Park. I had a dream that happened once, actually.
Was he on a plane and like the raptor woke him up going, Alan? Oh no.
Let me see. Greg once says I should do a video on the Tomb of the Gods comic. Yeah, Tomb of the Gods. I remember the first issues were pretty good, and I was a little bit let down by the last issue. And unfortunately, the sales on that comic weren't that great. I mean, the sales in indie comics, even going back to the mid '90s, weren't good enough, unfortunately, for them to keep making them. And they had, they had a lot of cool plans. They had one book plan back in the '90s that was going to have. They were going to use the likeness of Wilford Brimley as Abner Ravenwood, and have Belloc have a minor role in that, and they were going to search for Shangri-La and find the headpiece of the Staff of Ra, which is like such a great story, and unfortunately we never got to see it.
Oh, there goes my head.
Did you die?
Yeah, I didn't even notice the chopping thing on there.
Yeah, okay.
I'm getting one more floor every time though, so I'm starting to get back to what I could do. But I mean, that would have been a fantastic story for them to write. But you said they just kind of abandoned it.
Yeah. Yeah, they even had like some of the cover art already done, or at least it was like a concept for it or something. Looked pretty cool, and unfortunately they abandoned it. They never released that story in any way.
Now going back to like other forms of media, they should definitely make another Indiana Jones game. Like
there is one coming actually. Howard Shore, who does like Bethesda stuff. Howard.
Oh, you're talking about Todd Howard?
Todd Howard, sorry.
Oh no.
I don't know where.
Oh my! Ow! It's gonna be. Are you saying that Bethesda's gonna be coming out with an Indiana Jones game?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
Oh, you don't like it?
Well, like say none of the traps are gonna kill you, and you're gonna have Todd out there saying this just works.
Well, I mean, I haven't really played like his games, to be honest, but I feel like he's a big, well-respected person in the industry. Oh yeah, the Fallout 3 was his, right?
Yeah, well, Bethesda made Fallout 3, Fallout 4, Fallout 76.
Right. But I guess what I meant is that I'm not sure if I've played any Todd Howard games, but I think he was involved in Fallout 3.
Yeah, I mean, he's also done, like, he did the Elder Scrolls, Skyrim, and, like, all the Elder Scroll games.
Yeah, and for some reason I just never got around to playing Skyrim. I don't know.
Alright, where the heck is this stupid key? I'm still getting annoyed now. I can't try to remember how to find keys and stuff.
And I can't really help you because of the delay.
That's alright. I found it.
You found it? Okay.
Yeah, I actually walked right by it the first time.
Man, Super Neat has some interesting comments on here. So let me share all the funny things that he said. Indy's daughter is Lara Croft.
That makes sense.
We need an Indy Tintin crossover. I mean, these are good. Indy should visit Hogwarts. He doesn't want any shows.
Well,
no, he says no shows. Oh, what were you gonna say, Michael?
We already had a wonderful Lara Croft movie.
Which one?
The first remake with Angelina Jolie. When they first made the Lara Croft movie, we already had it.
The first Lara Croft movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, she's appeared in a movie before, and it was pretty good.
Let me see. And the here's where really good. So, do you think Indy has a BO problem, or does he use deodorant?
I mean, who's around to complain?
Yeah. Let me see. Greg was asking Indiana Jones and the Lost Horizon. Yes, that is the comic that I'm talking about regarding Abner. Yeah, and Super Neat also asked if Indy had any pets, and Tika Fan correctly mentioned that he had a dog, which we all know was Indiana. And Greg with a good reference here, Indy has a cat named Henry. I forgot about that. That's from the bookends of the show.
So you say the new Disney Plus series will be about Dr. Jones' cat?
Oh man, well, I don't know if they need a whole show, but they should definitely have like a, like a YouTube channel of shorts about Indiana Jones and the cat. Because that's where stories like that belong, on YouTube.
If anyone in the chat is a Phantom Abyss speedrunner, I'm sorry. I'm trying.
Yeah, I don't think so. Someone probably would have mentioned something by now. Let me know in the chat if anyone has played this game. But it wasn't like a big, hit. It's like sort of a not too well known indie game from Australia.
Well, it still says it's in alpha too. It doesn't say it's complete yet.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they haven't. They only have the first 3 temples. There's supposed to be 5.
Yeah, which I'm sorry. If you're gonna release a game, you can't call it alpha forever. Eventually, you gotta deliver.
Yeah.
No.
Unless your game is Alpha Protocol.
I guess.
Greg again with the good young indie reference. Super Neat had asked, "What's Indy's favorite music?" And Greg says jazz, which is a good reference to Mystery of the Blues. You probably never watched Mystery of the Blues, huh, Michael?
No, I've been meaning to watch it on your channel.
I made you watch the bookends a long time ago. Actually, I remember specifically because you and it was Brian Hennick particularly wanted to have like a just to watch all the Indiana Jones movies one day because he knew that I was so into it. So the 3 of us got together and we had like an Indiana Jones party and we watched all of the movies, and at the same time you rented the new Indiana Jones game at the time, which was Emperor's Tomb. But what I was going to say is that I made you guys watch the Indiana Jones bookends from Mystery of the Blues, which was the only time that Harrison Ford appeared in that show, reprising his character of Indiana Jones. So you probably don't remember that because that was forever ago.
I say that was a long time ago.
But I remember showing it to Brian, and he probably expected it to be like much longer, and we saw it, and he was like, "That was it." But it's pretty funny actually. I love the ending. It's funny.
And I gotta say it's been Emperor's Tomb. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Talk about renting games and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And that was like the gameplay wise the best 3D Indiana Jones game. They were the company that made that game pitched a new game. Pitched another game using the same engine, which was going to be recreating the scenes from the 3 Indiana Jones movies. And they have a video online. You can find it. That it's like the opening scene of Raiders of the Lost Ark. They just built like one level as a test, and oh man, seeing it and just knowing that it didn't happen, that they went with Staff of Kings instead is it hurts.
Yeah, they like to tease you with things and then take it away.
Yeah. Pika fan, thank you for watching my young indie edits. Appreciate it. It's been fun to do. I've been thinking about getting around to another one. Hopefully in the next few weeks, maybe I'll find time to do that. I've been spending a lot of time on one of my other channels, which is my Columbus Crew Nerd. I've been digitizing all my old VHS tapes and uploading all these 1990s Columbus Crew soccer games.
Oh yeah, speaking of which, that digitizing the old videotapes, the Max Benson films are now.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I put them on this channel too. I just thought it would be funny to post them so people could see. And I lost a few subscribers.
That's funny.
Yeah.
They're like, what the heck is this?
Yeah, people probably see that and it's like, yeah, exactly. What the heck?
That's alright.
Let me see. We have someone here on the chat who had some good thoughts. Lucasfilm absolutely intend a wider franchise, whether that's built around Phoebe Waller-Bridge or someone else. No chance they see this as one and done. Problem is how to achieve that without Ford. He also adds one. Oh yeah, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was going to say the achieving without Ford. That's where this movie's going to tie in. It's going to have, like we talked about it before with like King of the Crystal Skull. It kind of felt like Shia LaBeouf's character was going to be there to be, the handoff from Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
And they kind of chickened out at the last minute, or they played it safe. But maybe with the new movie, they're willing to kind of like, all right, well, this is his time to hand it over.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they do it with we're going to kill him, and then, we're going to kill him for no reason, just so we can hand over the movie, I think that's kind of lazy. But
yeah, don't do that.
I don't think they'll do that, because, well,
it's kind of like there have been so many like iconic characters killed off the last few years, if you think about it. Like obviously James Bond, like everybody from Star Wars.
We don't talk about Bond.
Yeah, Iron Man, and John Connor. That's another one we don't talk about.
Oh, that was a bad one. Oh.
Yeah.
I was not a fan of that. Not a fan.
That was to me that was way worse than the James Bond man. The James Bond death is the John Connor death.
Well, I think like using the character's death like as just a method to hand over a franchise is just really lazy. Like it's just it's like there's so many better ways you can execute it, or even though the character retire with some dignity.
Yeah. I hope that they somehow reboot that or change it somehow to bring John Connor back, because he's the character that we all want to see in that franchise.
Well, it's easy enough to do. Have a franchise built on time travel.
Yeah.
Just call that like set the dark future set, and you don't have to acknowledge it at all.
Yeah. I think once they do that, then I can go back to Dark Fate and kind of appreciate it for what it is, just as like this oddity that does have some cool parts, but it's just the idea that like you know, never seeing John Connor again, like, really takes me out of the movie.
Oh yeah. Well, I said it was just. I get what they were trying to do. They're trying to make it shocking, but I mean, it was so unnecessary. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like you really couldn't, like, you couldn't do that better, could you? You couldn't have like maybe a little build up, maybe a little more important as a character, considering his role in Terminator 2.
I thought that they were gonna somehow, well, I mean, not while I was watching the movie, but before the movie came out, I thought that like John Connor was gonna show up later in the movie, so maybe there could have been some way that they could have the older John Connor come back, because they had, you know, even though they stopped the future, they did still have that Arnold Terminator that was sent from the future still came to the past, so they could do something like that easily.
Yeah, I said just make it the Dark Future timeline.
What's Oh, I see. Just to make movies that take place during like the John Connor led rebellion and stuff, and the Skynet takeover.
I said just all you have to do is acknowledge those films and call them like, you know, this is the Dark Future timeline. You know, the new films we make are going, you know, that timeline exists, but that's not what's happening here. And I'm trying to think of an example for, because that term specifically was for like X-Men. X-Men did that with like 1 through 3, the non-Marvel ones. And when that movie came out, like Days of Future Past, I think it was called, and they kind of like retconned the whole thing, you know, like went back in time, changed the future, and now.
And now the girl from Game of Thrones is Phoenix.
Yeah.
Dark Phoenix.
Well, like now they're all alive. They're, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually liked Days of Future Past a lot.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good too.
Yeah.
And that's kind of one where it uses like a character's death as like uses it effectively. Because the characters who died, you know, they died protecting that timeline, and then they kind of retcon, like, oh yeah, we fixed the timeline now.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Oh. There's a fast-moving blade.
Ooh, Greg says, remember that weird young Indy episode where Indy's mom almost cheats on his dad? I do kind of remember that.
That can't be canon.
It was... where did that take place? Was it in one of the Europe episodes, or was it in Asia? Was it like in India or something? No. It must have been in one of the Europe episodes, I think. Yeah, I don't remember which episode that was.
I was gonna say that can't be canon. Who could possibly cheat on Indy?
He cheats. Sorry, maybe I misspoke. Cheats on Indy's dad.
Oh, well, who could cheat on Indy's dad?
Sean Connery. Yeah.
I say. It's like that's even harder.
Yeah. I don't remember that. That's fine. Yeah, I forgot that existed, yeah. But yeah, that's. I mean, I think the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles will remain canon. The bookends, of course, some people in this chat said they still think the bookends are canon. But I'm not sure that Disney sees it that way.
Every time I get a little bit further. This time I was.
Oh jeez, yeah. I'm seeing you die right now.
I was a little impatient. That was the problem. It's the thing with this game. You really you feel the pressure for the phantoms coming, but you just can't jump the gun. You have to do it. You have to be methodical. You have to be clever with the traps.
Mm-hmm.
And those dart shooters, the ones that shoot 4 ways, those are new. Like I don't remember those the last time we played.
Yeah. You can whip those and they'll activate.
Ah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, no.
Oh, this is an interesting question. Does Indy still have a scar from when Short Round burns him and snaps him out of the voodoo trance?
Well, did you check the photos of Indy? Do we have?
Well, I feel like it's not something that will be that has been. What am I trying to say? Like, I don't think they have had Indy have that scar because they made Raiders of the Lost Ark, and there is a scene there where Indy takes off his shirt and they're looking at the bruises from the truck chase. I don't know. I suppose someone would have to analyze that and see if there's anything there that you could say is from that scene in Temple of Doom, but I doubt it.
There's certain things that they keep true to, like when they're showing young Indy, for example, and they show him get the scar on his face and he gets stuff like that. I mean, that's like a really big detail that comes up later. So I'm not sure if they show the one for Temple of Doom. I guess probably not. I like how the Phantom I encountered looked like it was like looking back at me and checking to see if I was okay.
Which Phantom was that? I'm not even see. Oh, I see him. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
It would be sort of interesting to be able to run like with people at the same time. I don't know.
Yeah, let's contact the developer. Use your contacts for Indiana Jones.
That's right. Does Indy remember Willie Scott? Yes, I'm sure he does. That was another question.
Oh man. Here's one for the Indiana Jones nerd. Of all the movies, Crystal Skull included, which one had the best villain?
Well, I made a video that said Belloc, but I know you said Molaram has your heart.
That's right. Number one in my heart.
Love those puns.
But, ow.
Someone said Indy had a picture of Willie in his house at Crystal Skull. I didn't know that.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I could track that down.
Hey, you know, we may not get copyright struck if we show Crystal Skull. I don't know if they actually care or not. We can just stream that.
Yeah, they care. It's money. They care.
Yeah, for the two people that buy the DVD every year.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
let me see. How confident? This is someone. Lost Canyon says, "How confident are you that the alleged time travel plot will turn out to be true?" When that news came out, I was really I believed it because it seemed like it was coming from a credible source. And we have seen some things filmed which are like people in old like Greek and Roman outfits. So there's either going to be some sort of like a flashback scene, which has never actually happened in an Indiana Jones movie.
There hasn't been a flashback scene?
There's never been like a flashback scene like to the ancient past,
okay.
showing the time frame of like the artifact that he's going after.
I was gonna say Lost Crusade is a really big flashback scene.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, but like it seems like in a lot of adventure films they do that. Like the opening scene is something, you know, a scene that happened like 2,000 years ago, or like, you know, there's somebody like I don't know, like you see a character die or something like that. Like another, but the ones that's coming to my mind is the animated movie Atlantis: Lost Empire. Like the opening scene was the destruction of Atlantis, and it makes sense to do something like that in an adventure film, and it really like sets the tone. But Indiana Jones like has his own adventure at the beginning of the film that sets the tone. So they've never really done like a flashback to like the ancient times. So it made me kind of feel like this is probably gonna follow that trend, and it's not gonna be shown as a flashback. It's gonna be like actually some sort of time travel thing. But we don't know, because like news comes out and people kind of can infer something or make something up, and we just don't know.
Well, I think like you said, the time travel one seems pretty credible. I don't know if it's going to be like a key plot device, but I mean, maybe included for a short bit of the movie.
Yeah, exactly. Like just one part of the movie, maybe he goes somewhere. But I don't think that he's going to be like hopping through time like throughout the whole movie, because like that's not really like what an Indiana Jones movie is.
Yeah. Well, I didn't think aliens were either, but then that happened. So.
Aliens?
I said I didn't think aliens were what an Indiana Jones movie was.
I thought you were talking about like the Alien franchise. When did they use time travel? No, they did. They just cloned someone who was destroyed in lava, molten steel or whatever.
Oh, they did do time travel in the Aliens franchise.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. It was in Predator. Like he went back in time and was like, he was fighting like knights and stuff like that.
Oh, well, not in a movie though.
It was a movie. Kevin, I think you killed me.
What movie are you talking about? I don't remember that happening.
It is one of the movies. I can't remember which one.
Because they've shown like that the Predator people have like artifacts from like, you know, old civilizations, but it's not inferred that it's time travel related. I think it's inferred that it's like they've been picking them up like over the years or whatever.
I just remember they were fighting a predator with a crossbow. I don't remember what movie it was though.
Well, they are making a movie that is, I think it takes place in like the 1800s or the 1700s or something, and it's like a, I don't know, like a Mohican or some like Native American thing, I believe, against the Predator, which is going to be interesting.
Oh, I can't wait to be the first Phantom of this new dungeon, this new devil. No one has been here before. Oh, thanks.
See Lost. Oh, sorry. What were you saying?
I'm just not having a lot of luck because I'm trying to get back into the rhythm of this game, and it's been so long. Also, it's really hard to do to talk while playing it too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm really hoping this new indie film's going to be a really good callback to the original films.
Yeah.
It really just, I mean, you could play it safe. You could have some nods to like even retreading things like Raiders of the Lost Ark and stuff like that. Just don't use it as your only plot points.
Oh, Michael, you gotta jump over those blades.
Yes, I know.
That was probably a minute ago that happened. I'm just watching your screen like, oh, jeez.
Yeah, it happens a lot. I said, still trying to get my bearings with it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Let me see. Lost Canyon asks, wasn't there still Bridgers in 40 style clothing? Yeah, the Sophia Waller Bridge. We've seen Oh, well, I don't know about 40s. We've seen she was wearing like a white shirt and like brown tan pants and black boots, but that was for like the Cefalù stuff. And then later she was at Tunara del Seco, and that was one thing I was speculating, or I don't know if someone else was speculating. I got it from them, but it was an idea that Indy was gonna somehow the parachute scene was gonna have something to do with the time travel. Oh, and Michael, we have 10 minutes left on this call, so in about 10 minutes we'll wrap up this stream here.
No worries.
Cool.
I say after this, I'm probably gonna keep playing some games. I don't know what I'm gonna play because I just got Far Cry 5, so I'm excited for.
Oh, nice. That's the one in like the Himalayas or in India, right?
Nope. Far Cry 5, you're in Montana.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And it's got
I played the opening scene of that, and it was really cool, but like my computer couldn't handle it. That was my old computer.
I would say
I've been hoping to revisit it.
Yeah, it's 80% off right now if anyone's interested on Steam Winter Sale. So.
Oh yeah, that Steam sale is going on.
Yeah, it's a good time to pick up some new games there, Kevin.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't want to spend money.
Don't be a cheapskate. Your audience demands it.
Yeah.
I'd say I think sometime I'd like to try La Milena with you. I think.
You mentioned that.
I told them about it before. It's kind of like a Metroidvania game, but it's like Indiana Jones style. And the only problem that I would have playing it is that from everything I've seen, it's really ow. Okay, whoa! Did these things explode? The only problem with it is it's very puzzle intensive, and there's like certain areas where if you miss a piece like of the artifact, or if you miss like one of the puzzles, you end up like you can't continue. The game is over. So.
Michael, you are awful. I just saw you die.
I told that's a new trap. I didn't know those things exploded.
Oh, I see. But still, like you ran like really close to it and like right in its like thing. You got to kind of come like at an angle a little further away and just whip it. Unless you're being chased by something, then it's like you don't really have a choice.
This is why you're the Indiana Jones nerd.
That's right.
Hey, my forte is adventure games. I suggested Fate of Atlantis. You told me Phantom Abyss.
Yeah, well, we tried Fate of Atlantis. So what was going on with the Fate of Atlantis? It wasn't, it just wasn't detecting it?
Well, what I found with it was that OBS was trying to... Ow. Got impaled twice. OBS was trying to capture the window, but it just couldn't recognize it. I think it's because Fate of Atlantis is like Steam sells it, but it's like it's basically like in an emulator. Like it's like on Scum VM or something like that, and that's how it plays.
Oh, okay.
And so I don't know if the emulator window just couldn't come up with it or what, but I might try playing around with it and see if it works.
And you can do display capture, and that'll just show whatever's playing on your screen.
Well, I mean, we didn't get that far with our playtesting for it, so.
Yeah.
But I'll definitely try that out because adventure games are a little more forgiving. Needless to say, I would have been one of the skeletons that Indy discovers in movies. I probably would have been...
Forrestal.
That's right. I would have been... Or one of the bodies in the pit. Because I wouldn't have recognized that Jehovah begins with an I.
Did you know that scene? It was originally... And it was shot to be, like, not a bottomless pit, but like a pit of spiders, I guess.
Uh-huh.
So there's a picture... of it that it was like he stepped on it and then like a spider, like a big tarantula or something, crawls on his on his jacket. But maybe they thought it was too similar to because they had already had tarantulas in the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I didn't know that. It wouldn't have been a bad. Wouldn't have been a bad thing. I mean, I don't think it would have changed the movie that much, but. Man, I really hope the new movie has more traps, like more temple exploration, or more like.
Oh, dude, it will. Actually, for sure we know that it will because at Pinewood Studios they built. We know they built like a one thing earlier on said like a cavern full of traps, and then later we heard there was like a cavern tunnel that they would go through, and I think there were some traps, and then there was like a dome. So that's one of the sets that we haven't seen. We just heard a description of.
Yeah, because like I went to Universal Studios here about a month ago, and like one of the big things like they kind of do at Universal is they do like a lot of set pieces and a lot of attractions that are based off like the movies and things, of course, but just try to put you in the experience. And there's this part where in the Isles of Adventure where it's like the King Kong area, but it's kind of strange because it has like a Morocco. I think it's like King Kong / Mummy area, but it's like a Morocco setting, and it kind of reminds me of like being Indiana Jones, just like the whole like look and feel of it.
Yeah, and Morocco's gonna be in the new movie.
Yeah, that's
probably what I thought about.
Yeah, it was really nice to check out and explore.
Well, I definitely need to ask you about the Velociraptor ride. Did you go on that?
I did not. I did not go on the Velocicoaster. I missed out.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. I went on a lot of the other rides there, but I didn't. But yeah, I did not get a chance to go on the Velocicoaster. I got to go on the Jurassic Park water ride, which was like it takes you on it's like a sightseeing tour on a boat, and then it gets like
it goes out of control.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the same one they have in California.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, especially because the I guess a spoiler, but the end sequence like takes you up the big hill through the park, and then you see like the T-Rex, and that's like the moment you're like, this is so cool.
And the what's the other one called? The Indominus Rex is there too, right?
Yeah, he shows up different part of the boat. I can't remember where he was at. I know he was in there though. But yeah,
he shows up a few times.
Yeah, like a couple times, like the boat quickly turns directions and stuff like that, and you're like, oh gosh, where do I go now? Oh no. I'm dead.
Well, we're down to, it says your call ends in 2 minutes, so maybe this is a good time to call it quits.
Alright. Well, hey man, I had a lot of fun streaming with you. I had a lot of fun on our chat earlier. We'll definitely have to do this again, especially when we get closer to Indy 5. And if you have, I know you were talking a little bit about things you're going to do after Indy is released and after it's completed. And if you're ever looking to talk about movies, things like that, I'd be more than happy to
definitely
stream a different game with you.
Cool. Yeah, definitely we'll be doing that in the future. Yeah, so I'll be in touch.
All right, man. Well,
and a big thank you to everybody on the stream who watched and stuck with us. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, hopefully technical issues are all ironed out. So
yeah.
And hey, if you want to do your call off.
Oh, that's right. Thank you all so much, and I wish you all fortune and glory. Bye-bye now.